Hello, my name is Anderson Adarve. I am 18 years old and I am a student from the UTP, the University Technological of Pereira. Now I am the third semester of the career of informatic engineer, and today I will explain how to make a e-commerce with MySQL, JavaScript with React. Um, for the backend, we will use Express and for manage the servers. For the database, MySQL, and of course with React we use HTML and CSS. For the first part, I will show you how will be this page and the results, and after we will be on the code. We will see the code. Um, I will begin with the database after you will see. So first of all, there is the page. We have 10 products. Each product have a trim image with a description, his name, and a price. So how work this page? When you click in the cart here, you go to the login. If you don't have already log or register here, you go to the register and you can register yourself. When you register yourself, this information go to the database, and that link you to the login. Here you put your name and your password when you log in. So you go to the first page, but now you have a button who say add to cart. Before we hadn't it. So now we can click on this, and when we click on this we can see a number beside of the add to cart. That means the numbers of products that we will buy. For each product we have a stock, a max stock and a minimum stock, and unstock for know how many pairs of sneakers we have on our stock. So we can say I don't know, three of this. And when you go to the cart now, there is your cart with the items you want to buy. You can use this button too for the quantity of the product. Okay. And when you want to pay, you can click on checkout. You make accept. You click on accept, and you can put a card number. For this example, we will use a fictitious card using 4242. And when you click on pay on your Stripe application, you can see the payment was made. It's like just a simulation for a payment. And when you finish, you just click on shop and you go to the first page. So that's the introduction. That's how we're gonna make the page. I will show how to make the CSS, the HTML, and all the backend, and how to use the database. We will use a map for the database, and I need to say it, we will make it on localhost, everything. I will not show how to put on the net. You have a lot of tools that can make that. You just need to make some research. So for the first thing, we will see the database. Okay, how I said before, we will use map for the database. So if you don't know what is map, it's a tool that can help us to make some database on localhost. You just need to search it in internet. like this. Map is the first one, and you download for Windows or Mac. I don't know. So when you already install this, just when you open the application, you can see a window like this. Normally you just click on I will show you. I'm gonna show you. So I need to wait. You just click on start servers. Uh, Here normally, so normally here, okay, that takes some time, but we wait that the Apache server and MySQL server appears in green. So now you click here, show open web start page. You will see that welcome to MAMP. You scroll just here and you click on PHP MyAdmin. After I will explain what this is for linking to the backend of our application. Okay, so PHP MyAdmin is the local host and the database that we will use. So here you can make your own database. Personally, I use this one. It's named Tienda. I am from Colombia, so I speak Spanish. I'm sorry, I will try to translate everything that it's gonna be on Spanish for you. So Tienda is like a shop. Here productos is like products, and users I made it in English. So what is this? There are two tables, so the products and the users. There's the two tables in one database, so we're gonna stock all the products in one and all the users that we're gonna do made on users. So for products, this shop will have 10 products, and for each table we will use okay, for this table we will use the ID, the name, nombre, that means name on Spanish, the price, the description, 1 2 3 image. So there are only 3 image. We'll use the stock max and the stock min and the actual stock. And this one are for the express and sequelized. I don't know why we need to put them, but it's obligatory. So but we will not enter in details for this. And for the users, we will use the ID, the username, the password, the address, the telephone, the email, and like for the products, we'll use created that and updated that. That just the date when you made it and when you updated last time. For this case, we will not gonna will encrypt the password. We will let it like this. So I need to say something more. For the application, we'll have an admin that can change all the stock of the product and can change here his information. So if you go here and you log, sorry, I, if you go here and you log like admin and you put the good password, so here you can edit the new price, the new max stock, and the minimum stock. When you click on edit, that change, and you can change the information of the admin. So you can change his password, his address, his telephone, and his mail. So I will explain how to do that on code. But now I can see that I finished the database. Oh, something more. To stock on the database image, we will put the image on 64 data because is the image on word on letters. That's a little big, but is one form of stock it here. There is more alternatives to make it, like just put a link here and on the code link it to another page, but for this case we'll use this on base 64. Okay, for the database that's all, I think. If I need to go back here, I will make it just for more information. So don't worry if you don't understand, you will understand after. Okay. Okay, so now we'll see the code for the application. There is it. So I think I'm not gonna explain how to make a project from React. For the moment, I will just explain the servers. So for my application, I made two folders. One for the server, that's called servidor, that's main server on Spanish, and cliente, that makes client in English. So of course the servidor is for the server. So we'll begin here. For the server, we will use these dependencies. I think you don't. I will not explain how to make this, but just to know, you make npm init on your command line, and that make the package JSON and the packet log JSON. And when you install your dependencies, they will install on your node modules. And you need to install node, of course, because if you don't install node, so that's not gonna work. So for this application on the backend, we will use body parser, course dot. Okay, don't have is not really necessary. You can just skip it. Express MySQL to node mailer. Okay, nodemon, SQLized, and stripe. Okay, so I'm gonna explain everything. Course is using for the good function of the servers. .env, so you don't need it, so I'm not gonna explain this. Express, okay, that is to make the server's construction easily and have an efficient on the code. MySQL2 will use to link the database on our backend. Node mailer, we will use it to send mails to our mails. So I forgot to explain this. When products have a low stock, when the actual stock is down of the minimum stock, that will send a mail to the admin mails with the information of the product that it's out of stock, and saying that you need to refill it. I'll show you it after. Okay, nodemon, we'll use it for the servers like this. We don't need to every change restart the server. That's restart by itself. SQLized, that's for the database too. And stripe is for the payments, so it's for make the payments of the product, not the payment but the simulation of the payment. Okay, so that's all for the package JSON. Now let's see the server. So I will explain this for parts. I'll begin with controllers, but first let's see the main JS. This time, okay, let's explain what's controllers. Okay, controllers will be all the functionment of the calls on the front end to the back end, and like that will be the the action that we're gonna do on the back end. I'll explain it more in details after. We have one for each table of our database for the product and for the users. We have the database, so here we link the database. We have a folder for the mail. Here we send the mail to the admin administrator. After we have the models is like the structure of the tables that we'll use for our database, and this is important for our controllers. After we have the roots, this root is to know where we're gonna do the requests, and the request get, put, post, delete, and update if we need it. And env, if that's not necessary, we can I will erase it. I don't need it. Yeah, okay. And the main JS, that is the heart of our backend. Okay, so here we use everything of the backend. Okay, so let's see controllers. So let's begin with the main.js. For the main.js, we will import all of these libraries like Express, Course, DB, database for the database, the roots of all of the backend, and the user roots, that's for the users, and all the methods that we will use for each user. The same thing for the product, and for the pay we will use another route for the payment. So we defined an element called app that's gonna get the express module, and we will use course for prevent the wrong function of the application. After we will use the express.json that will interpret of all the request JSON made by the front end. We use this route for the product, and we are gonna use this route for the users, for all of the methods that we're gonna use for the method put, delete, get, and update. And the last one is for the payment. Here we're calling the database to know if there is a good connection or an error in the connection. Sorry, that's in Spanish. Here is right connection, a good connection with the database, and here the error with the connection is error. Here we create a variable which gonna contain the port on with the connection of the server, and gonna be the 3001. And here we're gonna use the .listen to know on which port it's gonna process the server. So the server will be running on the 3001. After this, I will explain this after. It's for another thing. Okay, so that was the main JS. Now we're gonna see the controllers. Okay, so even if I say that we're gonna see the controllers, now I prefer to begin with the database. So to make the connection with the database, we're gonna use SQLized here. So we create a variable with which will be called db. That's gonna be equal to new SQLized. Here we're gonna put the name of the name of the database. So how I said before, here on my data on here there is my database who is named tienda. Okay, so I said before that I'm gonna explain something, and it's now. So before, when we clicked on map, we saw this: but host, localhost, the port, the user, and the password. So now on the code with the connection, we put here the user and the password. So okay, you can see that here it's right, user root, password root. Okay, so the host will be localhost. Here too is right, and the last one is the dialect. So we're gonna use MySQL for the database, so we put MySQL. When we finish it, we export this function, and that's gonna be used on the main JS, just here and here. Before we import it, we import this function, and after that we authenticate the function, and we write it was a good connection with the database if it's good, and in case of an error we show on the console the error of the connection. So that's it for the database. Now we're gonna see maybe the controllers, or we're gonna see the models. I think we're gonna see the models. Okay. Okay, so now we'll see the models. So I'll explain what is this. So how I showed you before, we make the connection with the database, and here on models we will import this database. We're gonna be have one module for each column of the database. So here we are gonna use data types from SQLized, and so here we create a new variable which is named product model for that's gonna be used for the product, and it's gonna be equal to the definition of the database. So which definition? We're gonna say that the database have a column called productos, that means product on English, on Spanish, and here we're gonna put all the case of the column. So how I said before, on my here on products we have nombre, so name, price, description, tree image, and the stock. So here we put the same name of each one of this option, and we say which type uh, is gonna be this thing. So for the name it's gonna be a string, for the price it's gonna be a number, for the description it's gonna be a text, the image 1, 2, and 3 gonna be text2 because we're using it on base 64, and the stock max, min, and the stock will be the integers, because that can't be a negative or a negative number. That's the same for the user model. So we import the DB from database. Oh, if, you need to put all the direction of the function that you import. So we import database data types, and we made the same thing for the user model. So we check on the database the names of each place, and we name it in function of his type. So for the name of the user is gonna be a string, the password too will be a string, the address will be a string, and the telephone will be string, and the email will be string. So everything will be string. Mm, you need to know that you need to put the name of your column here. You can't forget it. So I think that's all for the models. Now we're gonna see the controllers. Yes, we're gonna see the controllers. Okay, so when we have already made all the models, we can pass to the controllers. So let's see the controllers. So the controllers were gonna be the, or we can say, the functions that we're gonna realize when we use the methods for put, get, delete, update, and things like this. So we need to import all the product model, because here we have the column of the database. And so we made, and okay, here too we need to import this from the main.js that to the product stock, and the product min stock. I will explain this after, because that's for the stocks, and it's a little complicated. And we import send mail, but like for the last one, I will explain that after. So here we're gonna make a function that gonna be a response, and we create a variable called product, and that's gonna have we're gonna take all the products from the database using the product model, and we're gonna send a response in form of JSON with the product. In case of error, we send a JSON with the message of the error. Okay, after this we have get product. That's forget just one product. So here we have a request and a res. We have a request because we're gonna send the ID of the product to know which product we're gonna take from the products of the database. So first we create a variable which we'll call product, and here we're gonna take all the products where the ID will be the ID that gonna be sent by the front end with the request. And for that, so we're gonna here will be an array with just one product. So on the response of the JSON, we'll send this product on the position 0, because that's the first thing that's gonna be on the product array. And in case of error, we send the message of an error. Okay, so here the creation of a product, we don't need it, because we don't create a product on the on the application. if you want to know how to make it, you just use product model that create with the request body, and we just send a message with the register created or something like this. Update product, maybe no, we are gonna use it for the admin. So it's the same thing. You have request and response. With product models, you make you use the method update. You take the body of the request, where the ID here you need to give the ID of the product that you want to update, and here you take the product where the ID is the one that you send it, and and you send the response with a JSON and a message who say the register is update. When we use the dot update is just for updating a space on the database. Here for delete product we don't use it because we don't delete a product, but it's like the update, but you replace update for destroy, and you need the ID of the product that you want to delete. So these three function here I'm gonna explain it after, because it's for the reservation of the stock, and we'll see it on the front end when we're gonna make the request of the product. So that's all for the product controller. So let's see the user controller. It's basically the same thing. You just import the user model, and you change all the variables from the products to users. Like get all users is the same thing that get all products, and you copy paste the same thing and you change it. You change the grammatic. So it's the same thing for get all user, create user, update user, and get user. That's all for the controllers. So basically there are functions that process information from the front end to the back end, and after this we'll see the roots that we'll use for making the methods and call this function. So okay, so now we already explained what was the user controllers and the product controllers, and now we can explain the roots. So how you can say it's like a little snake. First of all, you have the database. When you already have the database, you go to the models. When you already have the models, you go to the controllers, and when you finish the controllers, you go to the roots. So here we have the roots for products and roots for the users. So the roots for the products are here, and we import express to use the router. So we create a variable who will be assigned with express.router that is used to make methods on some routes. So here we use router.get to make a method get in this route on the slash, and that will be used to get all the products, and that all product it's imported from the controllers. When you see on the controllers, I say that there was a lot of function that we use when we go to this when we make a method on this route. So for each method that we need, we use in a different route and a different function. So this one, for the moment, I'm not gonna explain them, but this one, so we make on the slash, and if you put a number that represent the ID of the product, that's gonna use this function get product, and it's gonna take the product of the ID. Same thing for post, put, and delete, and this we export it to the main.js, and here you get the user root, the product roots. Forgot to explain the router user. So it's the same thing, just we change for the functions from the controllers, the user controllers that get all users on this direction, on the first direction. Get one user when you put the ID after the direction. Create user and update user. We're gonna use everything of this. And on main.js, so we import the product roots and the user roots to make here as a direction where we're gonna use their roots. So when you put product slash, that's gonna that means that the get all products will be in function, and things like this. After we have the pay, but I want to explain this at the end of the video. So for now we have ended with the backend. I'm gonna return here for explain things like the stock on the product controllers, the product stock, and explain things here on the main.js, things like this, that's used for the stock primarily. So next is gonna be client or cliente on Spanish. We're gonna see the package JSON and how it's built, all the project on the front end. So now let's see the front end of our application. So how I said before, I have two folders, one with client, the other one with the server. We already saw the server one, so let's see the client. When you open the folder, you can see some files. These files come with the React project, so when you begin your project, you just need to delete some files that you don't need, and you just use the main. So for the front, there is the dependencies that we're gonna use, and Axios is very important. Stripe is for the payment. These things comes with the React application. The two that on the we need to export to make this dependency. I think it's all. The rest of the things come with the React application. So I will show how I manage my files and my and everything, every part of the application. So for this we'll use the main app.js, sorry, that's gonna be our principal file. On the app.js we have a lot of importation. There are all the all the components. So will show you every one of this after. And we use roots from React Rotterdam. That's for make the roots of our application. And on the HTML of this page, we are gonna just put the things like the navbar is the header of application, and every root of the application that go to every element that we'll use. Like for the root slash, we're gonna go to the shop without the buttons of buy. When you go to slash shop, is the shop with the buttons to add to cart. Slash cart is the cart. Slash login is the login of the application. Slash register is for the register. Edit admin is for the edit the information of the admin, and edit inventory is for change of the stock and the price of every product, and slash stripe is for the payment of the application. So after this, I need to explain after the shop context provider. This thing is to use variables or hooks in all of the elements of the application without needed to pass props for each one. So the first thing I'm gonna show is the CSS for the app. So for the app, we're gonna just put the width to 100 viewport wide, and the height is gonna be automatic. The font family that we're gonna use on this app, and we're gonna reset the padding and the margin of the application, because when you start an app, you have all every at every time you have an automatic padding and an auto margin on the application. So we erased this and we put 0. So on the index, we'll need to use this. That's automatic, that comes with the React application, so I'm not gonna explain this. Let's see. Okay, so on components, I have just my header, my navbar. On context, there are all the variables, function, or hooks that I'm gonna use on general. On pages, there are all the components of my page, like the admin, the card, the login, the payment, the register, the shop, and the shop with the button to add to cart. So let's begin with the navbar, with the header. So when we come here, we have some importation. There are shopping cart, navbar, shop context, and the React. Okay, so we make a function called navbar. This I'm gonna explain after. No, maybe I will explain this on the first time. Okay, so the context is used to make variables, like I said before, the global variables to our application, and like this we can use it on everywhere on the app. So in this case, we're gonna use Axios, because here we have some functions that gonna make some petition to the backend, and with the methods put, get, delete, something like this. So we define a variable called URI that's gonna have the root of the backend to make the methods to the database. This function is used to make an array and use the quantity of the products that are gonna be bought by the user. So you have an array with the quantity. um, After that, we make the shop context provider. This is gonna be all the everything that's gonna be here will be export on all the page, all the application, and can be used everywhere. So we have two hooks. One where we will be stock the products on the cart. So when you put a product on the cart, you put before here on this hook, and here you add the total amount of the purchase. So we can say if you buy $4,000, they be with that gonna be here, and gonna be at if you buy another 4,000, that's gonna be 8,000 on total. So that will be used on the payment and on the card to show how much gonna be the payment. Here that's gonna we can put all the products that are in the database. So I'm gonna show after, but here we can say there's an array with all the products of the shop. This hook is to know if the person is logged, because when you saw on the application, when you click on the cart, if you are not logged, that's gonna send you to the login page. But if you're already logged, that's gonna send you on the cart. So we use this hook to know if you're already logged or not. This hook is to know if the person that was logged is the admin. If the person is an admin, we change it to true, and if it's true, that sends you to the page where you can change all the stock of the application. Here you take out all the products of the database and you put it on the product here. So with the petition get of every product, you put it on the hook product, and now you have an array with all the products. Here is a function to know the quantity of the product that you're gonna buy, and if you don't have this item on this array, that's gonna put it on the cart item. And if you already have the product on your cart item, that's gonna add to this array one, because like this you're gonna know how many you gonna buy of this product. Here on add to cart is just to know when you click on the add to cart, the thing that do is reserve the quantity of the product for this login. When you click on more products, that get out of the database one product and reserve it to you. If you don't go continue to the purchase, that's add to the database one product, and like this everybody can buy it. So that's the petition book. I'm gonna show it in the backend. I didn't show the last time. And the same thing for remove cart. If you remove it, then you add one product to your database. And here you're exporting all these functions and hooks to be used on all the elements of the application. That's why on the app.js we use shop context that provider, because like this everything that's gonna be on tour by this the thing can use these functions and hooks. So on the navbar here, that's why we use this. We export the shop context here. Yeah, sorry. Okay, you export it here and you use it on on a variable, and here on the code, on the HTML, you just make a div with the navbar and you ask if it's an admin. In case of that was an admin, you just change the options to change the profile or go to change the product. But before that, you need to ask if you are logged. So how I said before, that's using for now if you log, and if you click on the card, you go to the login or on the card. So here, if you are logged, the shop, the workshop gonna link you to the slash only, so the slash. And if you click on the cart, that's so this cart, the shopping cart size, you will be sent to the shopping cart, to the slash login. If you are already logged, that's gonna link you to slash shop. Slash shop is the root where there are the buttons of add product. And when you click on card, that's gonna send you on slash card, that is the cart of the application. You can go even if you don't add a product. And if that's an admin, that's gonna send you on product, or here you go to edit inventory, and admin profile is to change the admin profile, so slash admin. That's all for the navbar. You just need to see the CCS is really simple. You take it and you put 100% weight, 80 pixels of height. The background color, I use this green. You can use it if you want, or you can change it if you want. I'm using display flex and justify content flex end because I want to every element being on the end of the navbar, and we align it on the center. For every link, we put a margin and we align it on the center. And for the last one with the links, we get out the decoration of the text and we put this on color white. We put a margin left and the size of the font will be 25 pixels. That's all for the components. Now I think we're gonna see all the pages, which are the principal part of the application. So now I'm gonna explain the shop. That's the first thing when you enter on the application. It's really simple. You just need to have this, the React product. We are using this from there. I'm gonna show you after. You define this to make petitions to the backend and product. For the product, you make a function called shop, and I have a hook who is called products, and here you gonna stock all the products of the application. Here you make a petition to the backend, a get method, to get all the products of the database, and you stock it on product. So here on the return you just have some divs. the first one is the title of the shop, Adar Tennis. It's the name of the application, and I'm gonna show you the CCS after. Here on the class name product, you just for each uh, item on the array product, you're gonna call product with a prop called product. That product is the information inside of the array product. So that's gonna give the tree image, the description, the price, and the name of the product, and the stock too. So for each one, it's gonna be called on product here, and here you you take this uh, these variables that's gonna be equal to the data that give by the props, and here so you make the card, we can say, the for each product on the slide bar, like you see on the page, the image are sliding. So we put each image on an unordinate list. After that, we put the description, the name of the product, and the price of the product. So everything of this have something on CCS. So for the title, we use this. For the container of the product, so we have a width of 100 view per byte. The height is going to be auto. We're going to display this on flex, and wrap is for put it online, and if you go under of the limit of the product place, that's gonna jump down like that, like this is gonna be responsive. And we put all the items on center, and for each product we have this. So the width of every product is 450 pixels, the height, and inside of the card we put a flex direction column like this you have on the first part, the image, after you have the name, after you have the description, and for the last thing you have the price. This is the animation for the slide of the image. They are all of these, all their so this code will be on my GitHub. So if you want to see on details everything of this, you can go there and copy it. So for the buttons, there are all the styles. I'm not gonna explain this in details, so that's it. So that's all for the shop, and the shop add to cart is almost the same thing. Just here on product add to cart you have this button that, and you need the shop context because you're gonna use the function to put items more on the database, or delete a product on the database. So the bottom is this. When you click, call the function add to cart with the ID of the product, and you add the cart, or you change the cart, the quantity of the item. So that's it for the shop, and the CCS is the same thing. That doesn't change, sorry. Okay, so when you are in the shop here, when you click on the card because you are not already logged, that sends you to the login. So I want to show you this. Okay, here. So let's change this. So when you're here, you sorry, that's checking. Oh, okay, I didn't start the server. So let's start this. For the backend, we're going to write this node main.js. Okay, the server is running. And for the front end, we are gonna start it on npm start. So that's beginning. Sorry, that takes a little. So okay, starting. Let's go. That's charging. Okay, so there is it. When you here when you begin the page, you don't have the button to add to cart. So when you go to the cart, it goes on login. So here, okay, you go to login. So let's do it in order. So let's go to the login. Here we are gonna use this. Use navigate this to link the person to another page. So here we use the URI users because you need to read the database of and the column of users to know if the user is already on register on the database or if you need to register this user. So here we use the context that's to change the state of login, the logged, if you're already logged or not. Use navigate to navigate or on register when you click here on register. If you click here, that navigate turns on and go to register. Here if you click I'm gonna if okay if you put a name that doesn't exist or a wrong password, that sends you to the login, so that don't change. And if you are an admin, that sends you on edit inventory. Okay, so here we have three hooks: one for the name of the person, the second for the password, and here we extract all the users of the database. So with this function we set on users all the users that exist on the database using a get method. This we don't need it. Okay, well, sorry. So there's a problem. No, okay. Okay, so and we have a function called compare, is to compare the database with the users and the password that that you put on the input, and know if you are wrong or if you are good and you can enter to the application. So if you find the correspondence of the name and the entry of you and the password entry, that's gonna return a true or false if you didn't find it. Okay, here we have a formulary. When you submit this, that's called the function compare. So here okay, here on your input, you know that the value will be stock on Entrada. that is the name of the user. And for every change we are gonna set on entrada that the thing that you enter on the input, that's gonna be a type text, name user, the ID will be user, and the placeholder will be user. And the other one is the same thing, you just change for the password, and here on type it's gonna be password to hide the thing that you write there. After here there is a function, conditional that calls compare if compare is true, so if that returns true or false. If you compare and you say if entrada, so the name of the user is admin, that that navigates to edit inventory, and you change the context to true to know that the person is an admin. If not, if this is not an admin, so that navigates to the card, to the principal shop with the bottom of add to cart, and you change the login to true. And if the compare is not true, so you go to navigate login, so the navigate login just navigate to the login, that change anything. And for the last one, you have a button that sends you to the register. That's the one last button that if you click it, that calls this function navigate register, that sends you to the register /register. The CCS of login, it's simple. We just have some measures, colors, padding, things like this. So if you want to copy it, you can. So that's all. Okay. So when you go to the register here, okay, let's do this. Okay, register here. It's a little similar to the login, but here instead of compare, if you already okay, you need to compare the database, but you're going to put information into the database. So here, like for the login, you're gonna use users, the function register, that's gonna be some hooks, everyone for each information that you need for the person that's registered. So the name, the password, the address, the telephone, the mail, and here on users you stock all the users that they are already on the database. You use navigate tool to go to login or register if there is a problem on the register, and login if you already register yourself. So here you get all the users and you stock it on users here. For compare, and like this you cannot put two equal users on the database. Okay, so here we have a function that stores every information that you put on the submit, on the inputs, and that send it to the database with the method post. So for each username, the password, the address, the telephone, and the email. So here you have a form too, that when on submit, that calls the function store to store every information. And this input is the same thing like the login, but you stock it, the information on name. The same thing for password, but you stock it on password, and this time you use the type password to hide the password that you are writing. The same thing for the address, but text on type text. Same thing for telephone, same thing for email. It just changed the names of the variables. And on the last is a button. When you click it, is the time submit, so that calls the function store and you use it. I think that's all for the register. Yeah. So okay, when you are already registered, that sends you to login. Okay. I need to say something more here. When you put the name on this variable, you make a condition if the username is already on the database. So you, like this, you can have two same user on the database. If you already have this user that navigates to register, or if this is not on the database, that just set this name on the value. So that's all, I think, for the register. So the next thing that will be the card. After card, we'll see the payment, and for the finish, before finishing, we're gonna see the admin. So now we're gonna see the card. uh, After card, we're gonna see payment, after the admin, and a little thing that I forgot for the backend. So here we're gonna make requests on product to this address, this root. We have the shop context, what is that is the functions and variables and hooks that we can use everywhere on the application. The card items, the total amount, and we're gonna use navigate to navigate to another places. So here we're gonna stock every product on the of the database using this function. Here, this is the function to make the purchase. So we are gonna let it for the last thing here. Here, okay. Before that, I want to. Okay, no. Let's continue here. So here you have the HTML. We can say this. We have your cart items. That's the title. And here for each product that is gonna be on the cart items, that's a function here that's come from shop context. That's the to know if there is on the cart item on the for the cart, where that's gonna call the cart item. So this one with a prop that contains all the information of the product of each product. In case of the total amount is more than 0, so here we're gonna show the total of the purchase, which is gonna be the total here. And when you click on continue shopping, that's gonna send you to /shop. And if you click on checkout, that's gonna call the function buy, and the total amount is equal to 0. That's gonna show your cart is empty. So the function buy that make this, so it makes a request put in buy to know that the purchase is finished. We put all the quantity of the items. We have 10 items and we send the quantity of each item. So sometimes, or almost all the time, there is some of this that is on 0, and some of this that is 1, 2, 3. Depends of the quantity of the product that you're gonna buy. Here that's gonna make an alert with the response, and we're gonna change the total amount on the context, and that navigates to the payment. So we're gonna see the payment, but before we're gonna see the card item. So for the card, yes, we're gonna have the ID, the name, the price, and one image of of the product, and from context we're gonna have the cart items, the add to cart and remove to cart. That's to reserve or delete the product for each person. So here we're gonna show the first image, the name and the price of the product, and here we're gonna have two buttons, which one is for add to cart one more, or the another one is to delete one, for remove one items from the cart. So that's like all for this. So now when you go to the purchase, we're gonna see the payment. Here in payment we have two choices, two files, sorry. One with a public key, sorry, with a public key that is given by Stripe. So here we have, so here when you have a Stripe account and you go to developers and you go to the keys API, you can copy the key for the public side, so that you put it here. You make a promise with a function load Stripe. You need to take it from Stripe.js, and here you're gonna give this promise to the payment formulary. And hey, on the payment formulary, so this is for just style in the cart options. And here we're gonna use context because the amount of the purchase will be equal to the amount of the which is in the context. Success is to know if this is if the purchase was a success, and we have Stripe and elements that's gonna use to the payment. And we have this function handle submit. When you make the submit, you create a new payment method. So here that the type will be a card, and the card will have the elements of a card that comes from the from Stripe. If there is not an error, you can make an ID for the payment method and a response that's gonna make a request with a method post on this URL, and we're gonna send the amount of the payment and the idea of this payment. If this is a success, we're gonna just show the successful payment, and that's okay. And here, if there is a success, so first we're gonna just show the form of of the the payment, with the options and everything. And now I'm gonna show you the admin. So for the admin we have two folders, one for edit a product, or the other one to edit a profile, the profile of admin. So here you have the principal page of the product when you go with admin. So it's the same thing like shop and shop button. Is you have products here, you put all the products on the database here with this function, with this request, and here we just show the shop and the shop title, that is edit product. Here you're gonna show every product with props that's gonna give every information of each product. And here on product is almost the same thing for the products on the on shop and shop add to cart. We're gonna take all the information of the product, and we're gonna create three hooks, one for the price, one for max stock, and one for min stock to change it. We're gonna make the request to this ID, is product slash ID slash. So we're gonna change the price, the stock max, and the stock min by the hooks that we do here. So here you have almost the same thing. You just show the tree image on carousel on slide bar. Here the name of each product, the price of each product, and we show the max and the stock and the minimum stock. And there is a formulary where you can change the information that is with and button submit that we're gonna call the function update, and it will update the price, stock max, and stock and the minimum stock. So here you set the price with the value that's gonna be entered on this input. Same thing for the max stock and the min stock, and on the final we have a button submit that when you click on this, that's gonna update the price and the stock max and the stock min. So that's it for edit product. And now for edit profile admin, you're gonna have 4 hooks: one for the password, one for the address, one for the telephone, and one for email. So we make the request to the ID tree because on my database my admin is on ID tree. So every change will be done here. We have a function here called update that's gonna make a request with a method put on this URL, and we're gonna change the password, the address, the telephone, and the email. And here we just have a function to go to edit inventory if you click on continue. So here we have a form, and for each information that we want to change, that's gonna be stuck on the hook, and at the end we're gonna just make a button submit that's gonna call update, and with the information that you stuck here, that's gonna update the information of the admin. And for the last things that I didn't explain for the server, for the backend, is the controllers for okay, so I'm sorry, I forgot something. Is the pay. On the backend you need to have your key, this key, the hidden key for the backend to make the purchase. So here you have a function pay that's gonna have amount and ID from the request that made on the front. We make a variable called payment that's gonna be a try of payment, and we're gonna create with the amount of this purchase. The currency is CUP because I'm from Colombia, so I'm using the Colombian currency. The description is a shop, and payment method, it's the ID, and to know is good, we confirm with a true. So we have a response sending a message payment successful, and success true, and if there's an error you can send a message payment failed and success false. So that's it for the payment. And on the main you just called the payment here with this route. Okay, so for now I'm going to explain the book when you want to book some products for you. So first of all, you get from the database the information of each product, and you stock it on an array here, the product stock and the product min stock. And on controllers, on product controllers, here I have 3 functions that I didn't explain. One is for book product. So here, when you add something to the cart, you are booking a product on the stock. So on the array you take, and you leave, you you make one less product on the stock. And if you delete the product from the cart, you're adding a product on the stock, sorry. So that's the function for this. if you want to update a product when you're gonna make the purchase or when you're already finished, here you change completely the database. And the last thing is when you buy products that just say that the successful purchase, and that's all I think. So that's all. We have the application. If you want to see uh, all the code that's gonna be on my GitHub, I'm gonna put it on the description. I'm gonna let my email if you want to send me if you have any question, or you can make it on the comments. I think that's all. Yeah, so bye.